Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of our podcast called Random Cricket Photos That Make My Guests Happy. And before we introduce you to our guest for the day, here is a random cricket photo that makes me happy.
The pitch today looks very good. It's a nice dry wicket.
Magnificent shot, Greg Chappell. Beautiful placement. Jeez.
What about that? Listen to the crowd now. They're into him.
He's not happy. He's not at all happy.
You would not believe that that was possible.
Should be caught. Could be caught. It's Harvey.
This is a picture of former South African captain Graeme Smith looking at the ICC mace fondly in his hands at Lord's in 2012. The mace, however, is not what makes this picture iconic for me. What makes this picture incredibly special is something that's scribbled on the shirt of Graeme Smith in the photograph. This was Smith's 93rd test as the captain of South Africa, and the win against England was a special one because it came at Lord's and also because the series win took his team to the top of the ICC test rankings and made them the deserving owners of the ICC mace. However, unlike most times, there was no Mark Boucher with the gloves next to Smith this time around. The wicketkeeper who had begun the tour on the verge of a landmark 150th Test appearance was forced to retire after a horrific eye injury in the team's first tour game. Mark Boucher's cornea was damaged after the ball hit him in the eye, and as a result, AB de Villiers took the gloves for the series, and Graeme Smith took the responsibility to end the series well that had started on such a somber note. When the time came to collect the ICC mace, Graeme Smith came out with a shirt that had "We Miss You Bouch" scribbled hastily across it with a black marker. The match most probably would have been the unsung South Africans' 150th Test appearance. While that could not happen, Smith and his team left no stones unturned to let the world know who their effort was dedicated to. This little but beautiful gesture is what makes this photo so special to me.
ये जो एपिसोड है ना, ये आज ही सुनना. ये हर रोज नहीं निकलता है. बीच में 7 दिन आ जाते हैं. 7 दिन.
Alright, if you're wondering what just happened there and why I'm trying to do this terrible Sanjeev Kumar impression, I would call it the effect of my guest today on this podcast. So, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Deepta Kirti Chaudhary, who is one of the better writers on Hindi film industry and who loves to be introduced as salesman by the day and writer by night, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So for those who don't know, Mr. Chaudhary, who prefers to be introduced as salesman by the day and writer by night, has been writing some tremendous books on the Hindi film industry. And trust me, if you love trivia and if you love stories, you're doing a great disservice to yourself by not reading those wonderful, wonderful books. So thank you so much, first of all, for writing those books. And, I personally have been a massive fan of those books. To all our listeners, I would just point out that the only piece of communication that I had with our guest today before this podcast was a Facebook message that I had sent him way back in 2014 telling him how wonderful his book Kitne Aadmi The was.
Yeah, actually, these are the things that make my day, really. So, really thankful for you saying this and for everybody else who does that. Thank you so much.
I have a fairly interesting story also regarding one of your books. So, this is the Bioscope one, in fact. Now, this happened a couple of years ago, and I had gone to a pub quiz where books were given away as prizes. And one of the stacks of books that was to be given to the team that comes first in the quiz, that had a book by you. Now, that was my motivation to win the quiz. But not only did I win the quiz, the first thing that I did after the quiz got over and once they asked us to come to the dais and all, was that I hid that book and ensured that none of my teammates could get their hands to it.
Smart move.
Of course. But before all those books, and correct me if I'm wrong, came the first book you wrote, which was a book on Cricket World Cup, right?
That's correct. 2011 World Cup.
So, couple of questions first up. A, how did, all you want to know about Cricket World Cup come into being? And secondly, why hasn't there been another cricket book from you? I mean, we cricket lovers who love so much of trivias and stories, we would love to have more of that.
Okay, I'll answer the second question first because that's easier to answer. I just don't know enough about cricket to write books. I mean, I managed to kind of get through one, which was a bit of a wonder. I just don't think I have it in me to write one more, especially where there are so much better writers, compilers around. I'm just under-equipped in front of it. Actually, the reason that that book came across was very funny. Because it was meant to be a book for children. I mean, young adults, children, whatever. So I used to write a blog fairly regularly between 2006 to 2010. And sometime around 2010, an editor from Puffin, which is Penguin's children's imprint, she got in touch with me and asked that if I would write a book on cricket. I mean, I follow cricket like the average Indian cricket fan. Somewhat passionately and with not much knowledge. So I was a little surprised at why she asked me. And she said that, look, we don't want it to be very scholarly and deep. We want it to be fun and interesting and something that kids would like. So I thought, here's my chance to get a book published by Penguin and make hopefully young kids learn a little about Test cricket and ODIs, which I always fear might end any day. So that's how that book happened.
Wonderful decision, but I'm definitely not happy with your decision of not coming up with anything related to cricket till now. And I just hope that, you can put that notion about yourself that you don't know enough away and you can come up with another book, because as I said, your Bollywood related books are full of trivias and are full of stories that I have been going to so many quizzes and winning them thanks to you. So I would love to read a cricket book from you again. Now, like every week, I would ask you to open your pitara and from that pitara, take out 5 photographs from cricket that make you happy and that you want to talk about. Because on this podcast, which is called Random Cricket Photos That Make My Guests Happy, that's exactly what we do. So what is your picture number 5 in the list of random cricket photos that make Deepta Kirti Chaudhary happy?
So my first photograph is from a day it is rumored that no Indian got to watch live because it's Kapil Dev at scoring his famous 175 not out in the 1983 World Cup. And it is a beautiful picture in which Kapil is in full flow and you can see the pink rhododendrons in the background, which were described beautifully by Siddharth Vaidyanathan in a recent piece on the Wisden blog, I think. And I think this is where, for people who grew up in the 80s and 90s, this photograph is a representation of where their cricket fandom started. For me, the first cricket match I ever watched was the 1983 finals, World Cup finals. And I was completely uninterested in cricket at that point in time. In fact, I went to sleep before India could win. I mean, I asked around and I said, do you think India will win? And somebody said, yeah, I think we will win now. So I went to sleep. But next day morning I woke up and I mean, the whole world champion thing kind of sunk in. And I started reading about cricket, there was a lot of stuff on Kapil Dev, and I became Kapil Dev's fan. I mean, he is my first cricketing hero. And I still remember when he retired, I think one of the sports magazines, Sports World, captioned their cover story as the last action hero. So that's like such an apt description of Kapil. I mean, you cannot not love Kapil when you're growing up because he's the guy who would score 175 in an ODI match. He would be the guy who would take 9 wickets in an innings. He would be the guy who would hit 4 sixes to avoid a follow-on. So he's like this swashbuckling Wild West cowboy who you kind of grew up adoring. So that's my first picture for the day.
And that's from the 1983 World Cup, and we all know the story of the game, and we are so unfortunate that we don't have the visuals, and probably this photo actually gives us an idea of how beautiful it must have looked in the background of those rhododendron trees. So definitely a beautiful photograph, and it has a lot of memories attached to a lot of people. Even Siddharth Vaidyanathan, in his list of top 5 photos, he pointed to this and he said, this is very special to me. So I can totally understand why it is so special to anyone who was, growing up in the 80s and 90s. And as you said, Kapil Dev was the last action hero. He was blockbuster. I mean, he could do everything, right? He could also pull off those catches, and one of those things about him that he would not get run out. So he was not only hitting those centuries, not only getting those 5-wicket hauls, but he was also, he was a generation ahead. So yeah, last action hero would be quite apt to describe Kapil Dev. Moving on, what comes next after Kapil Dev?
Yeah, so I'll continue my cricket watching story. And after I woke up to the fact that I belong to a World Cup winning nation, world champion nation. I decided that I would now watch a lot of cricket. And the first thing that came up right after that was the India-West Indies series of 83-84. And it was a shattering as well as uplifting experience, because West Indies came to India to kind of show us that it was the World Cup win was a sort of a flash in the pan or something like that. And they just steamrolled us. And I mean, as a 9-year-old cricket fan, it was like absolutely distressing to see your team getting completely steamrolled. However, in that whole steamrolling thing, I managed to find my second cricketing hero, which is Vivian Richards. Because I never realized that how glamorous, and I use the word advisedly, how glamorous cricket could be. It was like, nothing like you ever imagined. So when you see a lot of pictures of people in, the white clothes, and cricket is often somewhat erroneously called the gentleman's game and all of that. So you have a somewhat, you have a genteel view of cricket in your mind. And Richards just came and just broke that into pieces. I think that is that series. And for about 5-6 years after that, I was completely undecided that whether I should be supporting India and whether I should be supporting West Indies. A large reason of which was Viv Richards. His aura kind of started even before he came into bat. So, or rather, even if he started batting, when he came into bat, he would be chewing gum, adjusting his cap. He would be twirling his bat, which he held like some sort of a, lightsaber or something. So he was like another, absolutely rock star. We use this word very frivolously nowadays, but Vivian Richards was that original rock star. And which is why the picture I have chosen is not of him playing cricket. There are some absolutely stunning pictures of him batting in full flow. But here is a picture of him bare-chested with what I think is a sort of like a six-pack abs, wearing shorts and kind of laughing at the camera. It was as if he was laughing at all the bowlers and the fielders around him. So that's what, I think Vivian Richards is still my favorite batsman across generations, across ages, because when you have a sort of, he's like part of my childhood memories. He's part of my growing up. He's the type who would come, and he was the type who would come and score more than 175 in an ODI game. So therefore, Vivian Richards is my next choice.
Absolutely. And, there was nothing gentle about the hammering that he gave to the bowlers. So he actually turned the gentleman's game around with his batting. And, frankly, I don't know how many cricketers of that era could claim to have a body as fit as this man, which is visible, in this picture. And that too for a man quite famously fond of his cigarettes and rum. So apart from all that, Viv Richards, you know,
Yeah.
in this
Absolutely.
photograph, you see the swagger in that smile. You was amazed at the fitness, which I'm sure it must have played a huge part in making the great player that he was. So you definitely have a liking for big players who love the big stage and blockbuster players, as I would say.
Yeah, I think blockbuster is the word. I think both Kapil and Vivian Richards deserve to have many movies made on them. I mean, Kapil is having a movie made on him, which is releasing later this year. And I hope somebody makes like a fantastic movie on Richards also one day.
So two blockbuster cricketer done. Is there any more addition to that list of blockbuster cricketers, or is it a different photograph this time?
Yeah, so my next photograph is basically, I think I call this Indian cricket's Kennedy moment, right? These are two cricketers who are not blockbusters. They are very regular, very almost ordinary, till you, of course, give a bat in their hand. And these two cricketers are Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman, who, and India, I believe Indian cricket's Kennedy moment is when they batted for that entire of day 4 in 2001 Eden Gardens. And, you know, you ask anybody who's like born before probably 1990, and they would remember exactly what they were doing on that day 4. How did they believe? What were their superstitions? How did they kind of, pray? How did they celebrate and all of that? So this photograph of Dravid and Lakshman coming back to the pavilion after a successful day with, their with completely drenched with sweat, with those hydrating collars around their necks. I mean, it's an absolutely uplifting picture, because these are not what I would call blockbuster cricketers, but this is that that beginning of that hope when you realize that India can do anything. Because one of the problems of growing up in the 80s and 90s is that India didn't win anything. In fact, if there was a tough match, India would probably lose. That was our go-to thought. But in 2001 March, and we passed the anniversary just I think a week or so back. This just is one of those happy memories that when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling down, you just think of this day and you feel better.
Absolutely. And, you said ordinary. And I guess if you ask the other bowlers, they would say ordinary till you have to bowl to them and get them out. Because on that day, they actually didn't get out throughout the day. And even the Australian bowlers couldn't find any answers. So a very special photograph. I guess it is for all of us. Even, I was born after the 90s, and even I remember what I was doing that, but totally remember the feeling, because it seemed right after the third day, it seemed, okay, this is another defeat coming our way, and, Ganguly's captaincy might get over pretty soon. And then everything turns around with this partnership. And one thing that I particularly love about this photograph is, as you said, that they're all drenched in sweat. You can see the amount of hard work that had gone into putting India in that position at the end of day 4. So it's a very beautiful photograph. And again, the smile of VVS Lakshman and that smile on the face of Rahul Dravid, it's so beautiful to soak in. And as you said, that on your dull days, you can go back to Kolkata 2001 India versus Australia test, and it will still give you goosebumps. So yeah, I can totally relate to that feeling, even though I'm from post 90s. So that's a wonderful choice. 3 done, 2 left. Now I'm wondering what is coming next.
I think again, for people of my vintage, because most of our cricket watching happened in the 90s and the 2000s and all of that. And 2001 was that, I mean, what you call it, a hump year or something, that where we finally started being regarded as a team which cannot be beaten. And of course we were beaten after that as well, but that aura kind of changed, and Saurav Ganguly started it. After that, Rahul Dravid sort of had a short stint. Then Mahendra Singh Dhoni took it to even higher levels. I think the one person which is a common link between Azharuddin, who had a decent record, but his captaincy kind of ended in a bit of a disgrace, to Ganguly, to Dravid, to Dhoni and beyond, is this guy called Sachin Tendulkar. I mean, Sachin
Who is
Tendulkar,
Sachin
I've heard.
that sounds like an unfamiliar name.
Yeah, so I think for many of people who are a little older than me, they have said that Sachin is their first hero who was younger than them. Because that was the first time. I mean, for me, that's not true. I'm a little younger than than Sachin. So Virat Kohli is my first hero who is younger than me. But nevertheless, there are lots of people who actually realize that here is this almost kid who's actually going to take us past in so many amazing scenarios. Now, there is I have uncountable millions of moments which Sachin has given us. But I think my favorite moment is this photograph of his retirement. After he finished his final test, he walked back to the pitch and he touched the pitch, and like in a sort of a gesture of pranam or whatever. I think this is what defines Sachin Tendulkar: the humility, the hard work. He did not have a swagger. Even when he was the greatest, hailed by the greatest batsman of the world as the greatest batsman. Even after Bradman had told him that Sachin is probably the best that there is, Sachin himself was still working hard. He was still going for his practice, and he was keeping his head down and keeping his bat and pat together, and kind of saving us from defeats and taking us to victory. So, which is why I really like this picture. It's like something that you show to your kids and say that, you know what, they don't make them like this anymore.
Very true. And it must have been so emotional for this man to leave that field after so many years of entertaining so many people, and to be associated with the game for such a long time, and to have played the game for 24 years at the highest level. It is insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Incidentally, what I remember most from that farewell speech of Sachin is the fact that he said that his coach Ramakant Ajrekar never praised him. And he actually then asked his coach, saying that, "Sir, now you can say a few things because I'm not going to play anymore." I thought that it was an act of incredible humility, that he's literally the most powerful, he's the best, he's the greatest, and all those kind of things. And yet he was humble enough to tell his coach that, you know what, I need you to praise me.
Just trying to impress his teacher.
Absolutely. He is still that, that you heard that story that his coach used to keep a coin on the wicket, and if nobody got him out for a day, for that entire net session, Sachin would get the coin, and Sachin used to not get out and collect the coin at the end of the day. I felt that even after 20 years of playing cricket at the highest level, Sachin was still that guy, and that's why he's a role model. More than his batting, more than his cricketing abilities and all of that, I think this is a human quality which makes Sachin stand a little apart.
Very true. And even in this photo, that little gesture of touching the ground before finally saying goodbye to international cricket, I mean, this is so Sachin.
Absolutely, yes.
For the middle class, Sachin was, just not a huge role model because of his success. They also wanted the kids to be as, humble, as polite as Sachin. So, yeah, you're very correct in saying that he is a great icon for the Indian middle class, and for all the Indians, in fact, and not just for his cricketing records, but how he conducted himself. So no doubts about that. So 4 photos done, 4 cricketers done. Now I'm wondering who comes next, because we have done 3 different blockbuster cricketers of 3 different eras, or 2 different eras, I would say, and 1 blockbuster moment in Indian cricket. So what is next?
Okay, so the next thing, the next photograph is not of any cricketer. It's literally a random cricket photo. This is an award-winning picture by of a scene in Kashmir where there are a bunch of boys playing cricket in an orangish field infused with the warm sun, and they are just anonymous players uh, playing in one part of India. Now, I really love this picture partially because it shows the passion of cricket, which literally goes to every corner of the country. And in a time now when we are facing a lot of turmoil in Kashmir and all of that, I think this picture gives me hope that saying that when everything else kind of settles down, there will be cricket, and cricket will heal us and our country and bring everyone together. So this is again one of those pictures. Actually, I used to have this as my phone screen for a long time, because this is one of those things which has a beautiful color. It gives that, it's literally warm color, and it gives you a warm feeling.
Yeah, it is heartwarming. It gives you hope, as you said, and especially considering that it is from Kashmir, so it has a lot of connotation. It has a lot of context added to it. So beautiful list and beautiful photograph to end that list. With that, we come to the end of that list, but I'll still keep you around for one more question. And of course, this has to be related to Bollywood. Now that we have dealt with cricket, you have to tell me about the terrible attempts that Bollywood make, in trying to make movies on cricket. And which one is your favorite among those Bollywood movies on cricket?
Look, I'll tell you that I'll come to my favorite in a bit. I think Bollywood's attempts at cricket have given a lot of what is called guilty pleasures that you just love watching. Some of those slightly bumbling but nevertheless great efforts at bringing to life our game. So I love Awal Number. That has to kind of come at the top of any movie cricket discussion in India. And yeah, there are quite a few of not so big hits, but nevertheless, I mean, there is heartily recommend a Kumar Gaurav starrer called All Rounder, in which Kumar Gaurav plays, yeah, you guessed it, an all rounder.
That was so difficult to guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bollywood doesn't do subtlety very well. I think there are some, again, I keep seeing these interesting snippets of cricket. So one of my favorite cricket sequences is this famous monologue by Amitabh Bachchan in Namak Halal, in which he talks about, Wasim Bari, Vijay Merchant, Vijay Hazare in a hilarious scene. So most of Bollywood's attempts in cricket has been restricted to these small snippets here and there. But my absolute favorite cricket movie is the one and only Lagan. It matches the best of drama that Bollywood is so good at, with all the drama cricket is so good at, and makes a beautiful period movie. And that scene in which all the 11 ragtag bunch of cricketers kind of get together for a group photograph, which happens at the interval point in the movie, is you could take in as the 6th entry to this list of my favorite cricket photos.
That's lovely. it's a fairly uplifting movie, I have to say. And it has, as you like it, I'm pretty sure it has all the elements of drama, action, everything, pretty much everything that an Indian audience would lap up. And no wonder it was such a massive hit.
Yes, absolutely, it was.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. As someone who is a massive, massive fan of both Bollywood and cricket, I had a gala time talking to you. I hope you had a good time too, sir.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It was I had a great time recounting some of my most favorite memories. Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of an incredibly fun episode with Mr. Deeptakirti Chaudhary. But before we go, here is a question for you. So one of the favorite photos of Deeptakirti Chaudhary was a photo of Sachin Tendulkar from his final test, a memorable test for all of us. You have to tell me, in what capacity was Sachin Tendulkar's son, Arjun Tendulkar, involved in that match? That match was against West Indies in 2013 in Mumbai, and it was, of course, special because it was Sachin's last test. So you have to tell me, in what capacity was his son, Arjun Tendulkar, involved in that match? Thank you so much for listening to us. Stay happy. Love cricket.